UX UI design is a growing and trending field. However, most aspiring designers are confused on how to start and most importantly, where to start. Believe me, I was in the same boat 6 years ago, and at that time there weren't as many resources as there are today. The problem that I see today is many of the UX UI roadmap videos here on YouTube simply tell you to read books, take courses, or enroll for a boot camp if you want to break into UX. But the thing is that there are so many resources out there that you don't know which one to pick. In this video, I'm going to give you a crisp roadmap with specific resources, some of which I have personally used that will help you become an all-round UX UI designer in 2024 and the years to come. Let's go. First, I recommend learning about the field of UX/UI design. Basically, we are digital product designers and you should learn what a digital product designer does and what are their roles and responsibilities in a company. For example, let's look at a physical product like this bottle. Now, ask yourself, why is this bottle shaped like this? Why is it of this color? Why is there a grip over here? And if you want to open it, why do you have to turn it in this manner? Similarly, for a digital product, let's say Uber, why is the button placed over here? Why is it that if I tap this, it takes me to this page? And why are all these elements placed like this on a screen? All of these decisions that lead to these solutions are made by a digital product designer or a product designer, depending on what kind of products you're making. So, in order to learn more about the design of such products, I recommend these 3 resources. First is you should read this book called Design of Everyday Things by Don Norman. Some people say it's the Bible of UX design, and I personally have read it, so I will highly recommend you start by reading this book. Next is this book called Don't Make Me Think by Steve Krug. Again, it's a fantastic book. It's quite small, so you should get through it fairly quickly. But it'll teach you more about digital design and the thought process behind designing for digital products. And finally, this is a Netflix documentary called Abstract that you should definitely watch. I've watched it myself. In fact, I binged watched it. It's really great. It talks about the different disciplines in design, such as interior design, fashion design, UX design, and so on. So it gives you a wider perspective on design in general and it'll help you think in a much broader sense. So these are 3 resources I definitely recommend. Once you have a general understanding of design and UX and UI, then you can dive individually into user experience and user interface design and learn more about them. So let's say you join a real estate company that wants to build an app which connects people who want to buy or rent properties with property owners. Now your job as a UX designer is to find the pain points and problems of these people. For example, the people who want to buy property or rent a property, they may have concerns like safety, or if they want to select a property, they want to know if there are amenities in that area, and you want to understand pain points of the property owners. Are the tenants trustworthy? Are they reliable? Do they want to give a tour of their house? Are these people verified? Okay, are they comfortable? Because at the end of the day, the property owners will need to give a tour of their house to these people, or of their property to these people. So there needs to be a way for the property owners to verify and see if these tenants or these prospective tenants are good people. And another responsibility of a UX UI designer is to understand the business goals with this project. So for instance, the real estate company, why do they want to build this app? What is their goal with it? What do they want to achieve at the end? So all of these things put together is what we call research. And as a UX UI designer, you need to understand how to conduct research, how to analyze the findings from your research, and ultimately come up with solutions for the problems and pain points that you identify. So here are 3 resources that will help you conduct research, analyze your findings, and come up with final solutions. So the first resource is a course called User Experience, a Beginner's Guide from Interaction Design Foundation. Now, I have personally taken courses from IDF and I will recommend them as they have a lot of knowledge and they give practical examples as well. The second resource I recommend is Career Foundry's short UX course. Now, this is a free UX course that I have personally taken and it will give you a quick overview of the roles and responsibilities of a UX UI designer. And finally, I would recommend this book which I have personally written called Kickstart UX, a Beginner's Framework, that will help you learn the fundamentals of UX design in a simple and straightforward manner. The end goal of a UX designer is to come up with wireframes, which are basically mock-ups of the solutions that you design for after conducting research. Now, these wireframes are usually in a paper format or they can also be in a software, but essentially they are low fidelity solutions of the final product. So your final deliverable as a UX designer are these wireframes which you ultimately give to a UI designer. Now the job of a UI designer is to take these wireframes and convert them into high fidelity visual designs, which basically means that they will be using color, typography, they will be using brand assets and illustrations, and they will be laying out the final structure of these designs. Now, learning about the fundamentals of UI design such as color, typography, and layout can be time consuming. So here's an amazing resource from IDF called Visual Design: A Beginner's Guide that will help you get started. You should also learn about design systems and how they fit within a company. A design system is basically a standardized guideline used by various designers on the team that will help them stay coherent and consistent while designing. For example, if you look at Airbnb, you'll notice that the buttons on different pages look the same. Also, the different cards that they've used are uniform. And overall, if you look at the website, it looks coherent and it looks as if it came from the same designer, even though Airbnb has so many different designers working for them. That's the power of a design system. If you want to learn more, here's an amazing resource called Atomic Design by Brad Frost. I have personally read about this and I use it even today in my work. Finally, you need to learn how to use a design tool. Now, you must have heard about Figma, which is the most popular user interface tool today. I think the best way to learn Figma is by watching tutorials here on YouTube. In fact, Figma has its own YouTube channel where they regularly post tutorials and videos on their software, and also they share tips on user interface design as well. A pro tip to practice your UI skills is to go to Dribbble, Pinterest, or you can go to any app that you like using. Take a screenshot of a few pages and add those to Figma and try to replicate those pages to the T. What this does is, as you're replicating these designs, you're subconsciously learning the decisions which that designer made, which will help you improve your UI skill. And ultimately, it will help you build a strong foundation in user interface design. So once you're confident of your UX and UI skills, then you can work on practice projects which you will eventually include in your design portfolio. To do this, I recommend maintaining a log where you can document your journey as you work on a project. So for instance, if you're doing research, or if you're ideating, or if you're wireframing, write down what you're doing and what you're learning from it as you're doing that activity. By the end of the project, you will have a rich log of everything that you worked on during the project, and you can ultimately write a case study, which is essentially a report about your project and what you learned from it. Then you can refine these case studies and include them in your portfolio, which you will ultimately send to recruiters when you apply for an internship or for a full-time job. You can watch this course that will help you build your very first UX portfolio and get it job ready. Most importantly, take your time with this roadmap. Don't rush it. If you're completely new to design, and that is if you don't have a design background like me, it might take you a little longer, and that's okay. However, if you have a background in graphic design or another design field, then it may take you lesser time to learn about UI, for instance, because your foundations are already strong. The bottom line is, take your time and have fun with it. Subscribe for more videos like this.